Good morning, guys. It's 2 a.m. for me, and we've got another patch to talk about. And honestly, I just took a little skim through it. This one is actually super cool. So let's get into it because there's some really interesting stuff that we got here. And yes, guys, I'm not wearing a hat. I'm literally going to bed after I make this video and edit it. So let's get into it. Patch version 9, of course, releasing August 29th, basically today if you live in America, and tomorrow, August 30th, if you live in Europe or anywhere else in the world. Changes to Amiibo, Callie, Marie, Pearl, Marina, all that. Okay, cool. This is the first thing that we see in this patch. Changes to connectivity. Improved connectivity programming to shorten the time between sent data being received by recipients and the response that is then returned. For general connectivity during multiplayer, an average reduction of approximately 0.4/60 seconds, which is, I think, 4 ms or something, is expected. Okay, the amount of reduction will vary depending on the amount of information being sent back via connectivity and on the processing load. In situations such as dealing damage or defeating opponents, an average reduction of approximately 3.4 of a second is expected. So if I understand this correctly, I don't know if it's a thing where they're changing the hertz rate or anything like that. It could potentially be a thing, but I'm not too sure. But it's basically the data that's being sent from one person to another is going to be basically going to zipping back and forth a whole lot quicker than it was once before. I don't know what the statistics were before, but that's a good change and that's always welcome. I'm hoping this is a thing that makes trading less of a thing, because generally when I play Splatoon 3, I've noticed that quite a bit, especially since I've gone back to playing a lot of Splatoon 1 lately. You should check out those streams, by the way. When I have fights in Splatoon 1, it just feels like a lot of the fights that I'll go through, some of them will be shooting at me and I'll be shooting at them. And it feels like I will come up on top a lot of the time just based on connectivity. In Splatoon 3, sometimes I will fight someone and a lot of the time I kind of expect the trade just due to connectivity, because even if I take the person out, I feel like there's a few seconds in time that still allow the other person to still shoot me down as well. So it's just like, it feels like kind of a little bit lousy on that front, but I'm hoping this fixes a lot of problems due to that. So that's a really interesting change, and we don't know how it's going to be until we actually fill that out ourselves. So looking forward to that. Either way, right, so we got some weapon changes, and a lot of these, as you can see already, are some of the stronger weapons already. Wow, right, okay. A lot of the stronger weapons are actually taking a beating here. So for the squeezer, they've slowed the speed of the first shot fired after pressing the ZR button by approximately 5% and shortened its flight distance. They've also slowed the movement speed while firing by approximately 8%. They're making the squeezer a much slower weapon. Wow, okay. So first of all, it's only the first shot. The first shot is going to be somewhat slow to come out, but I'm going to assume that the rest that comes out afterwards is going to be the regular shooting speed of the squeezer. But the initial movement speed of the squeezers now is going to be a lot slower. Now, I'm not too sure if this is going to be a thing that's going to really hurt the squeezer, because, like, first of all, it's just going to be a lot slower. So I guess in some fights, maybe if you're fighting like a 96 cal deco, it's going to be easier for that weapon to actually take the squeezer out, because now in general, you're just going to be moving a lot slower. But at the same time, I don't feel like it's going to hurt the squeezer too much, but it's going to be very noticeable. Maybe more people are going to have to opt into maybe wearing more run speed just to get it back to that point, but that's something that a lot of people have got to really look out for, that slow movement speed can really make a difference. So, but at the end of the day, it just depends on how you shoot with the weapon at the same time. So even though that first shot is a little bit slower, the rest coming out of that, I mean, if you can hit, right? So for the range blaster, and honestly, I think this is generally just for the custom range blaster, they've decreased the radius of the damaging explosion by approximately 6%. Yes. Love that. So what this is going to do is that it's going to make it so that using the range blaster, you have to be a little bit more accurate with it, which is something I love, because currently right now, there's been a lot of range blasters just kind of running out there because of the custom range blaster specifically. And it's very, very, very easy to get a partial hit from it. So it's just like, you know what? Make those people work for that kill. I think this is actually such a fair nerf for this weapon, so that's very, very good. They've also decreased the radius of the ink splatter at the point of impact with the floor or wall or when detonated, in midair by approximately 9%. So they've actually reduced the painting from this weapon as well. So this thing is not going to paint at all. It's really just going to be strictly for killing. So dang, dude. Wait, I have a tearing it up episode coming with this weapon very, very soon. Luckily, I did it with the original, so I'm going to tear it up real good there. But yeah, nah, that's insane. I mean, this is actually such a good nerf for this weapon. So basically, people are really going to have to work for it much harder now. So for the Snipewriter, they finally nerfed it. They slightly decreased the width of spray droplets created by shots. Somewhat of a painting nerf. So, I mean, we have to look at this one for ourselves. But this is definitely what you call a big or somewhat of a painting nerf, just to say the least. So yeah, that's a really, really interesting change. I know for sure the Snipewriter has been extremely dominant, especially in the West. For being like the only backline that a lot of people use. So this is something that a lot of people probably wanted, and we can only hope that it's the right amount of paint that people are looking for. So I think the weapon, of course, will still be very strong if you can hit with this weapon. I think that's just going to be very, very helpful, but they're definitely really looking into this, the painting of this weapon. So that's actually really good, and it's on their eye now, so. For the Slosher, they've increased the amount of ink consumed by approximately 9%, so now you cannot throw the Slosher just mindlessly. You have to be a lot more accurate and more conservative with it. 9% is quite a bunch of paint. I think that might be 1 or 2 Sloshers. Maybe 1, I'm not too sure, but yeah, you gotta look out for that. That's a big chunk of your ink tank gone, just like that. For the heavy edit Splatling, they've slightly decreased the number of spray droplets created by shots, so they've reduced the painting a little bit. The frequency of inking occurring at the player's feet is unchanged. So feet has been unchanged, but the weapon has received a little bit of a painting nerf, so that's interesting. A lot of painting nerfs that we got so far. For the Wellstring, they've decreased the radius of the ink splatter that occurs upon impact by approximately 8%, so that's also another painting nerf. So. And now we move on to the only special weapon. This is something that I know a bunch of you guys were wanting, especially for so long now. For the Trizooka, they've increased the amount of time between activation becoming able to fire by approximately 1/12 of a second. If I'm not mistaken, I think 1/12 of a second is about 5 or 6 frames. I think it's 5 frames, I'm not too sure. You can correct me in the comment section below if I'm incorrect, but that is something that a lot of people were waiting for. A lot of people used to say that enemy team would pop Trizooka and it'll be just completely instant, and that has been changed. This is very, very good. This is going to hurt the Squeezer even more, actually. So Squeezer, Splattershot, and any other weapon that has Trizooka, you have to really just be like patient now with your Trizooka. So, and a few special point changes. The custom range blaster 200 to 210, I saw that one coming, and especially with the painting nerf, this is going to hurt even harder. So I'm so glad that the custom range blaster has got the nerf it's got. So that's very, very good. The Slosher has also got from 200 to 210, less triple ink strikes from that specific weapon since it's become really popular right now. But yeah, wow, like a really good like selection of nerfs and buffs. Well, there's not even really any buffs, there's a lot of nerfs actually. Yeah, actually the whole thing is actually just nerfs. Nothing is being buffed. There is literally no buff, it's just complete nerf everywhere. And that's basically it. There's a whole devlog of why they've done what they've done, but I kind of know why they've done it, because I mean, of course, when you play the game a lot, you kind of see things be really strong in some way, but dang, every single nerf here is actually really good. I mean, maybe, well, we don't know about the Wellstring, but I mean, actually, no, the Wellstring is a really strong weapon, and the paint that it did was actually quite reasonable. But I don't know, I feel like the stringers kind of need the paint. In my honest opinion, but I'm super happy about the Range Blaster nerf. I still think the Range Blaster will still be a really good weapon besides that, but Windows, okay? I still think the Range Blaster will be still a really good weapon besides that, but I mean, I think it's so fair for that to be nerfed like that. Squeezer, I'm so interested to see how the Squeezer is going to work after this nerf. I'm also super interested to see how the Snipewriter is going to be after this nerf. Is it going to be something that's super dominant in splat zones like it was before? We don't know. Slosher, it might fall off a little bit, but you might have to change up your build just to make that work a little bit too. Especially since at the same time, well, you're getting less triple ink strikes, so that's something you're gonna watch for. But yeah, no, dudes, these nerfs are actually crazy. The Trizooka nerf, that's something everyone wanted. The Snipewriter nerf, it has a nerf of like things like everyone wanted. So Dang. Nah, this is super, super interesting. I mean, this is all happening soon. I'm not going to be able to stream it the day of. I might be able to stream a little bit of it in the night, but we'll have to see how that goes. I might have to do a little late stream before I leave because I'm not going to be here this Friday, so I'll be able to try it on the day. But actually, no, I'll find a way, guys. I'll find a way. Maybe. Maybe. No promises, but I'll find a way. But either way, what did you guys think of this patch? Leave some comments down below. Have a discussion about it. I would love to hear what you think because I think this is by far one of the most interesting patches that we've received so far, as there's no buffs anywhere, no buffs to be seen. Everything that was really strong at the time or right now is now being nerfed. So how is this going to change Splatoon 3? We're going to have to wait and see. Try the patch out when it comes through. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe for more Splatoon 3. There's a lot of content coming through. And yeah, guys, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I shall see you guys in a future video.